Okay, so I'm navigating, I wouldn't say too much coffee, but coffee definitely. And updates and excitement and my voice as usual. Hi and welcome to a multidimensional living room. This is a presence-based destination. It's a place where you land. To rest, to co-create with me, to contemplate, to talk about art and life in multidimensional terms. I'm going to be painting energies, and if some of them speak to you, if they help you orient yourself, navigate your life, understand yourself, love yourself, or get some sort of energetic literacy, then that's great. And if it doesn't help you, then it may be for from somebody else. Thank you for being here anyway. I assume you apply your discernment at all times, and I appreciate that about you. So keep doing that. What I wanted to say, I've been evaluating this space. Once in a while I kind of got to do that. And I was getting the vision of a roulette. Not of a roulette, like a roulette wheel. And I was seeing this space like a roulette wheel. It's like there's like a middle point around which everything is spinning. And then there's like a space that is holding space for the game to play itself. And all the fields that are numbered and usually colored black, red, white, green are paradigms that we humans can experience life through. So sometimes we're atheists, sometimes we believe in God, sometimes we're unemployed, sometimes we are self-employed, sometimes we're employed, sometimes we believe that there is no money in the world, and sometimes we believe that we're millionaires. There are millions of paradigms how we can experience this reality, but the ball that kind of gets spun around until it actually lands into a specific field and determines the outcome of it, that ball is us. Me and you and all of us together. So that's kind of how I've seen this space. This space is like a middle point. It's a hub. It's like it's a space where we can come together and share our insights, just like people shared their ideas hundreds of years ago in their own old art salons. Yeah. I have news. And the news are that I have a new website. And I know that there is only very few of us here, that we are in this living room in the moment of me filming this, and I'm kind of used to already to having this almost personal atmosphere. And I don't mean to impose anything on anybody, but it kind of makes sense to me to offer these paintings that I create here and all the paintings that I've ever created from the beginning of this channel. It kind of makes sense for me to offer them to you. So I created a new website to be able to add these paintings as something that is available to you. The link for the paintings is always going to be down below in the pinned comments, and there is a password. The password is 𝑒𝑛𝑡𝑢𝑖𝑣𝑒, 𝑒𝑛𝑡𝑢𝑖𝑣𝑒. It's written on the screen. Why is there a password? Because you're special. Because I don't want aliens to buy these paintings. And if aliens do want to buy these paintings, they would either need to contact you to get a password, or they would need to be in a vibrational vicinity of this channel. In both cases, it's totally fine. But if they have absolutely nothing to do with this channel, then these paintings simply don't exist for them. Too much coffee is working on me. Okay. So if you feel called to support the channel this particular way, that is now possible. But again, as I said, no pressure. Okay. All that said, and that was the intro. let's start painting. For this painting, I was getting a vision. Two visions, actually. One vision is two people having a conversation where one person is poking the other one. And the other person is kind of reading the situation and removing themselves. And then the first person keeps poking at them, literally just like being annoying. But I'm seeing it kind of physically represented. And when this person is not really responding to the poking, then this person starts yelling and be like, hey, I'm poking you, don't you see? Like, don't you want to defend yourself? And then I'm seeing this other person that removed themselves. I'm telepathically receiving that they say, which they might not say it, so this might or might not be actually directly communicated to this person, but at least internally it is declared as, you're poking the idea of me and that's not who I am. That's why this person removed themselves. And the message behind it that I was getting is that even if you are having so-called enemies or something that is perceived to be against you, if you put yourself in a position that you read the situation simply informationally, not as something that is having access to your emotion, at least not too much. If you can just read that as information, that it tells you about you first and foremost, and it also tells you about the other person. If you put yourself in a position of seeing it that way, then whenever somebody goes against you, seemingly, is doing you a favor. So it's a win-win situation for you, but you have to position yourself that way. That's all I have to say for now. Another vision that I was seeing, potentially trigger warning, I don't know how sensitive you are to these things, but I was seeing a dog vomiting. It was a corgi. So I was observing him from above, and there was this dog that something made him sick, and then he vomited, and then he ate his own vomit. And then he stopped at the moment when he noticed that I'm observing him. So he got his head up and looked at me, acknowledged me kind of, stood for a second, and then he kept going. And the message behind it was that something might be making you sick and you don't even know why it makes you sick. Like, you don't see what exactly makes you sick. But then there is an awareness of what actually makes you sick, and that it makes you sick, and that it might not be good for you to keep engaging with it. But then you might be just keep doing it anyway. It's kind of like one of those scenarios of, oh my god, I can't handle this makes me sick, I wish I don't have to do this, but you keep doing it anyway. So it kind of comes like a reminder of the fact that you have a choice to just not do it. I'm also getting fire, of course. Fire that is felt in solar plexus and heart chakra. In this area, first and foremost. That kind of a fire that... I see this as a fire that most of the people are fearing. They're afraid of it. It makes them uncomfortable. And so when this fire appears, some people tend to try to meditate it away, call it anxiety, go get Xanax or something, and think you have a problem, and create a whole identity out of it. Anxiety disorder, no, anxiety depression disorder. Even if you're not depressed, they will call it anxiety depression disorder and put it in your medical chart. While what's actually going on is that this anxiety tells you something. It kind of has an information for you. And the information is about the direction where you need to grow. It is also about changes that need to be made in your day-to-day, in your identity, in your actions, in your environment, in your interests. And perhaps like you have a greater calling or an idea or something that is calling you that you feel like, oh my god, I really wish that I can do it. And your body, your higher self, like everything around you already knows that you gotta be doing it, but you gotta be doing it. You shouldn't be medicating it. You shouldn't be trying to meditate it away. So I'm seeing somebody trying to sit down and breathe through it, but meditation is kind of making it even worse, and then like you consequently find yourself in a position of thinking, I can't meditate. But it's really not for meditation in the first place. What it's up for is temporarily physical movement, but then an actual movement that comes on the level of, even at the level of identity, yeah. And making real choices and changes that would kind of fuel that fire, or let that fire fuel you rather than consume you and put you in a self-destructive mode. Which paint am I going to use? Blue. I really like this combination of blue. It almost makes me not want to touch it, but just leave it like this. And the reason why I really like it is because it shows me this... There are two types of frictions, or two types of growth that can happen with or through or around this energy of fire. One type of friction is when you walk on the planet and you're not looking for anything. You're literally just going to a grocery store, mind your own business kind of, and then you come across somebody who's already embodying, demonstrating, or exemplifying something that you're striving towards. Even if you're not fully consciously aware of, you recognize it in that moment, and how it shows itself is like you're inspired, or better say you're activated. So you see somebody and it might just give you a direction of like what you need to do and where you need to go next. It might also motivate you to just completely drop whatever you've been doing up until that moment and start out something else that you've been inspired by whatever you've seen. And that's kind of like how healthy growth or natural organic growth happens. It's like you have life, you're doing it, you're living it, and then growth happens as you go, as a consequence of you doing life. And it feels good that way, even if it's uncomfortable to completely drop your whole life and stop doing whatever you're doing in order to become a fashion designer or something. That uncomfort is kind of, in this area, I see this fire kind of fueling whatever you're doing. It moves you, it drives you, it travels with you. It helps you go through obstacles that would normally be obstacles, but now as this fire is integrated in a proper place, it helps you burn through those obstacles, so you don't even, like somebody might be like, hey, you can't be a fashion designer all of a sudden, and you're like, yeah, whatever. Or maybe you just sound something like, I got this. So that's how it's healthy, integrated. In this, I see also kind of like a gap in between where you are and where you recognize yourself that you want to be, and you want to bridge the gap in between there and now as soon as possible. And this fire kind of really helps you to get there, or to make the job done as you're moving towards that. And then there is another friction. And this other friction is operating in a way that something or somebody comes to you and destabilizes you by poking at you. Yeah, poking at you in your pain point, whatever that is, and it destabilizes you. And then it promises you that you can stabilize yourself if you engage with them in a certain way, if you buy their course, if you follow this and this step, if you buy whatever they're selling you. So basically they create an illusion that they have a solution for the problem that they caused. Maybe up until the moment you encountered them, you didn't even know that you have that problem, but suddenly you're aware of it, and you're aware of it mentally, and your whole nervous system is also responding to, like, oh my god, yeah, I can't live unless I really buy that course. And sadly, this is how all the marketing and this economy that is falling apart and all the social media is kind of operating on. So even if you're not looking for those kind of things find you, whether you want it or not. Especially in those moments when you just want to relax and you're scrolling through whatever app you're choosing, you will inevitably find people that operate in this paradigm. And you will find yourself being destabilized often, even if you think and feel that you are a generally stable person. Yeah, it's inevitable, it's just something that happens whether you like it or not. If you're operating, if you find yourself in this field of friction where you're constantly being destabilized indirectly, like you don't mean to be destabilized, you're just scrolling apps and trying to keep yourself informed and in touch with reality outside, you will inevitably come to that point. And then as a result of it, did I just repeat myself like 3 times now? Anyway, sorry. As a result of that, you operate in this state of being where you feel like you don't have enough time. You're first and foremost, you're constantly tense, whether you notice it or not. It's like you operate in a way that you're tense constantly. And then you notice that you don't have enough time to incorporate everything that you're supposed to incorporate in order to move from A to B, in order to reach that next level self, whatever you want to create or manifest or experience in this experience. You feel like you need to do so much. You feel like you need to have your morning routine perfectly done, evening routine perfectly done, all kind of stuff incorporated in between. Healthy meal, fitness, gym, care, social life, money making, everything. And even if you do everything on a daily basis that kind of fits into it, like something will come from the outside that will tell you, look, I'm old as you are and I make millions and what are you doing? And you're back in the square one, being destabilized again. And it's kind of like a never-ending loop. And there's this feeling that either Either you're constantly feeling like you have no time to make all of this, or you have a feeling that there is not enough of you to cover all of the activities that you feel like you have to cover in order to become yourself that you want to be. So there is this kind of separation between you and you that is mediated by a bunch of other people who essentially just want to help you. But they're also destabilizing you at the same time. And then if you consider that you want to stop participating in all of that, you may recognize at some point that it makes you sick. Then there are the positive benefits to that are being introduced into the equation, such as, yeah, but if you stop, then you won't be able to see all the cat videos that you're watching on a daily basis, or the school astrology videos that find you in exactly the perfect place at the perfect time won't find you anymore. And sometimes that is the reason why we are present on social media. I have not a couple of days ago, but yesterday, but so much happened since yesterday, it feels like a couple of days ago. I have met a friend quite synchronistically, Coco, if you're watching, hi, who described this energy to me 2 days after I found myself being in exactly the same energy and announcing it. It's enough. I'm done. I muted. I've muted all the places where I've been scrolling, and I just really don't want to see anything. Because it's leeching the energy. Even if you have the best possible boundaries within yourself, that you know exactly what you want and what you don't want, and what you want to see and what you're looking for, and you go intentionally, and you don't let yourself just go stray from the path of your intention, it's still in the background, it's still playing out for you, and it still triggers you. Even if you didn't mean to be triggered, it still triggers you, and it fills the shame loop that has been installed within you, perhaps very early on, where, for example, you had to go to school and get the best grades and bring them home, and then somebody told you that if you didn't get good enough grades, then how dare you? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? What's wrong with you? And you've been put under pressure to perform at the expense of your own health. And all of that I just mentioned on social media and marketing and stuff is kind of working on the same principle. And now there is a choice. You don't have to be playing in it anymore. You don't. Because even if you say no to social media, that doesn't mean that you're saying no to life. That's also kind of like an illusion that needs to burst at some point, that social media is a real life. It's not. If you really want to find yourself in the right place at the right time, then you find yourself inevitably in the right place at the right time, and you meet the right people unexpectedly, and you get results of what you're working towards whether you're present on social media or not, like you're not excluded from life if you choose not to scroll and prioritize your nervous system and your health and your well-being and the peace of mind. Right information can still find you. It might need to get a little bit more creative. Instead of thinking that you need to get a little bit more creative in figuring out how to put all the activities and all the requirements that are imposed onto you into your daily routine or schedule that is full. And already, like, after I have abandoned my Instagram quite a while ago, which kind of, I'm personally sorry if I invited you to go there, because I announced here on this channel that you can follow me on Instagram because I'm posting red and blue stories, and then afterwards I just lost my appetite for being there in the first place, and I don't miss it at all. You can still reach me there, but I'm not scrolling at all. I just don't. And I don't feel like I'm missing time. I did feel like I should be making millions because I'm in that age where other people are already making millions and having almost bullying-like thumbnails that showed up in my feed. But I stopped that too. Because on the other side of feeling like you are bound to participate in somebody else's business is self-authorship, is choice, is free will, is creativity. Is way much more space for creativity. Is way much more space to decide to work on something and get obsessed with it without any distraction. I think the camera stopped recording in a moment when I said that you have way much more space to create, decide what you want to create and get obsessed with it. Yeah. And fully devote yourself to something without being interrupted by needing to become somebody else that you yourself, your spirit, doesn't even want you to become, but somebody else imposes that onto you. And you might even not notice that it's imposed onto you because they're so magnetic, because they're so influenceable. Influenceable. Wait a second. Hold on. Influential. English is obviously not my native language. Anyway. Because they have so much of skill, charm, professional equipment, or whatever that they're putting in place that it kind of derails you. It derails you out of your own skin, out of your own being. And it creates this kind of illusion of perfect timing, which sometimes it's really welcome, sometimes it's really maybe even life-saving, that something finds you in exactly the right moment. That there is like a high degree of pleasure, I'm not denying it at all. When you go through life and you ask questions and then your algorithm shows you exactly the answer that you've been thinking. You didn't even vocalize it. You were just thinking about it and there it is, and you're like, wow, that's brilliant. But equally so in those moments when it doesn't find you in the right place at the right time, or it finds you in a way that it leeches the energy of your nervous system, that same timing that is perfect is also perfectly taken from you. It might have to do something with casino effect. Not sure. And there is also some sort of a difference in urgency. Urgency feels different. Yeah, I'm feeling it now. It's like when you feel the urgency to bridge the gap in between who you are now and what you feel inspired to be, do, or become. It's like that urgency is charging you with energy. It's like you wake up earlier in the morning because you're excited to work on it. You're charged with energy. It's like if you want to start working on a project, like you can't wait to start. You have mind full of ideas. You can't stop thinking about it. You find yourself being obsessed with whatever you want to create in the best way possible. It's a luxury problem to have. But if this urgency is imposed onto you in a way that somebody comes and says, and destabilizes you and tells you you can't stabilize yourself unless you click here, or unless you buy this, unless you listen to me, and promises you that your life will never be the same after you watch this video, and you're bound to stay, and there is the sense of urgency. That urgency might, in the moment, it might feel like scratching an itch. But inevitably leads you in this space of feeling exhausted. Feeling like you're running out of time, and feeling like you're not enough. Whether that speaks to you through the feeling of, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, or whatever. I'm not doing enough, I'm not famous enough, I'm not influential enough, I'm not connected enough, I'm not whatever enough. Or if you just feel like there is so much to do and so not enough of your capacity to catch up with everything. And then the saddest part is that what is suffering the most is your creativity, your creative projects, things that you really wish you want to do, but you kind of end up sacrificing it unintentionally even, because you feel like you gotta do so many other things first, under the premise that if you do that first, then you're gonna be better at doing this, but you're already potentially great at doing that without even going everywhere around to become better. You can always, of course, improve yourself, and I'm not saying that you should stop, but there is a way that you can organically improve yourself and find improvement as a byproduct of living, rather than putting improvement as a business, a hobby, or a chore, or something that you must do. That kind of takes your life away. It's like you're not living, you're improving. And there is definitely time and space for that. But then there's also time and space when you kind of need to see that and see what kind of effect it has on you, and choose, do you want to keep doing it this way, or do you want to opt out? I'm seeing a Cancer and Scorpio and penguins here in this painting. And the sunset. And that sunset is so fucking beautiful. And it kind of gives me a landscape of, here we have gorgeous sunsets in the summer that are really wildly colorful. Like dark purple, orange, pink, green, like everything is at this end. It is at the sky, but I'm more so seeing a hill. We don't have hills here. Maybe you have hills where you are. And I'm seeing being on the hill with this wild sunset and looking at it far away from, it is somewhere far away from where you are. And getting there and looking at this beautiful sunset and then asking yourself, how would you feel about doing everything that you're doing right now if you would be standing there and looking at that sunset? Would you feel a relief? It just invites you to go somewhere else, at least in your mind's eye, somewhere far away from where you are right now, and look back onto yourself and see how you actually feel standing from there about where you are right now. Energetically, I feel like this painting is done, but visually it is not. So I'm gonna add some details to it. Okay, I must stop now. So that would be it. Thank you for being here. And thank you for supporting the channel in whatever way that is best suited for you. I appreciate it all. And I love seeing your comments and likes and subscribes and all of it. And now, if you want your own personal painting, the link for it is down below. But the link for your own personal painting is not on Ko-fi anymore. It's on my website. So the links are a little bit simplified, so the coffee remains basically coffee and personal tarot reading if you want that. And everything else paint related is on my website where it belongs. Once again, thank you for being here. Ciao.